So we're here at the 27th Annual Black Graduation Recognition Ceremony. 27 years in Modesto. 27 years that this event has graced our community. And we have sent a number of students, tallying, a couple thousand over those years, on to graduation, to going to college, technical schools, to the workforce, you name it, they've come through here. Okay, we're going to begin our processional. Our students are coming in. Please rise, stand to your feet, and get ready to receive our graduates. Give them a round of applause again. And also give it up for the Cradle of Sound Drum Ensemble, bringing the spirit of our ancestors through music right here. I don't know about y'all, but I felt the spirit of our ancestors through their music. You just gotta listen. Gotta listen. My name is John Irvin III. I am currently school board member with Modesto City Schools, who is actually celebrating 150 years of being a school district in our community. And then I asked myself, where were we at 150 years ago in Modesto City Schools? But in that time frame, we've only had 2 African Americans on the school board in that 150 years. So they would call that progress. They would call that progress. This is the 27th annual Black graduation in that 150 years. We've got that progress. And so, also give it up for our marshals who led our graduates, Mary Ivory and Vanessa Bernice Metcalf, and also Eric Baxter. Now we will have to welcome our illustrious president and my friend, Miss Wendy Bird.
Thank you, John. John pays me to say all this nice things. But anyway, it's so great to be here. Could we first please just give a moment of silence for the 19 students and 2 teachers that was killed in Texas inside the school? So if we could just have a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you. We can't take anything for granted these days, and just something as simple as going to school, we should be just worried about learning. The face of schools are changing. But the good thing about that is that we have graduates who are going to grow up to become politicians, to become presidents, to become all sorts of leaders that are going to start to put in place policies and things that are going to change that. And so for this, I'm really encouraged. I'm encouraged also for a couple of reasons. As I look out at the graduates, and this is our first time after a couple of years, and so everybody's still kind of trying to decide whether they should come out or whether they should participate. But let me tell you, it does not matter whether you have a large room of people because it's not, a lot of good things come in small packages. And so we have a small number of graduates here, but we have a powerful number of graduates. And as I look at you, what's so exciting about it is that I see not just graduates, 8th grade, 12th grade, and college. I see generations of success, generations of accomplishment, generations of hope and inspiration of the things that you're about to do. So I want to ask, in terms of doing a welcome this time, if each of the graduates, if you would just look and lock eyes with someone that you don't know, and just smile and say, welcome. Come on now, you can do better than that. Be enthusiastic. You know, the reason why I asked to do that is because we have a lot going on in Modesto, and we have a lot of new faces in Modesto, but one thing that we don't have is connectivity. We don't know each other. And so we have to spend more time getting to know each other. So parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, nephews, nieces, everybody that had a hand in helping these graduates to get to where they are, let's give them a hand too. And in the spirit of getting acquainted, I want you to look around the room and lock eyes with someone that you don't know, and smile big, and just say, welcome. Okay. We got to spend more time getting to know each other. So don't let this be the last, but in some cases the first. And with that said, I, on behalf of the NAACP, our co-sponsors, Modesto City Schools, Project Uplift, we just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome.
With that being said, our president, Wendy Bird, has sacrificed a lot to ensure that our branch is well positioned to be able to continue activities such as this. Also, to be a focal point in our community when it comes to social justice, when it comes to mental health. When it comes to tutoring and supporting students, our NAACP branch is at the focal point in the community and representing us and making sure those services are delivered in a fair and equitable process. So again, please give our president another warm round of applause. Next, and I'm glad to see it in the program as such as it was, originally titled the Negro National Anthem. We have our very own Modesto native. Put your hands together for Miss Tasha Wilson.
Oh
so long and still in the trenches.
Have been given this honor, and I feel that it is welcome to bless the children of tomorrow, the future. And I can see some that I've known when they were nothing but like this. And I think I helped deliver half of Modesto. God has blessed me to be here tonight to offer a blessing to all of you, the young and the old. And there are a couple of us that are still old. I'm almost 87. And yeah, it's really ironic, and yet still it isn't, that I am to be here tonight. My pastor was supposed to have been here to offer the blessing. And I started not to come tonight because I haven't felt well all week. But it just goes to show you that what God has planned for you, nobody else can take away. And so I want to do that blessing. And so can we bow just in respect? Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, for we know we could never buy it if we had billions. And you have given us, the old ones, an opportunity to say thank you for our young people, the new ones, the future that you have planned for them. We ask that you bless them in a mighty way, that you keep them in good health, that they will refrain from anything that is harmful to their souls and to their bodies. We thank you for our young people, Father. We thank you for your Son, Jesus the Christ, that gave us this opportunity tonight. And we thank you for all of those who have put in time and prayer to you for these children. We thank you in the name of Jesus the Christ. We ask your continuous blessing for them. Amen. Amen.
You graduates, just going to give you a little history perspective on Black graduation programs. 1940, which would seem like a millennium to y'all, which is, by history standards, is recent. 1940, only 7% of African Americans graduated from high school. 7%. The national average back then was 24%. 24%. Compare and contrast to today, where the national average is 90% of students in general graduate from high school. We have definitely closed the gap as we're at 88%. Bridging that divide, that gap, but we still got some ways to go. I think we could actually be above the national average. We have some very talented, students that graduated from high school, so it's just a matter of time before I think we outpace all students on the national level. With that being said, we're going to bring up the Christian Love Baptist Church Praise Dance Ministry. Christian Love Baptist Church. Believe that. Because your name represents you. Believe you have power. Power in your name. The power of who you are. Don't let anybody take that power from you. Don't let anybody take that power from you. Moving right along. So that brings us to the introduction of our keynote speaker, esteemed college professor of the Ethnic Studies Department at California State University, Stanislaus, or most widely known by the locals as Turkey Tech. I would like to bring to share words of wisdom, inspiration, enlightenment, and empowerment, Dr. Mary Rope. Put your hands together, people.
Thank you, John, for that introduction. Like John said, my name is Mary Rope. I grew up in the Mississippi Delta in Arkansas, real close to Louisiana and Mississippi. About 40 minutes away from Central High School. So the whole reason I'm here before you today, and the same reason that these brilliant, beautiful, young black men and women I see looking back at me is because of a previous generation of high school students, the Little Rock Nine. These are really very interesting times that we're living in. And I'm very humbled and I feel tremendous honor to be standing before all of you today because you all are living proof that there is no such thing as the impossible. And when I was thinking about what message I wanted to share, I kept hearing, and most of us probably are familiar with this, maybe not all, in some way, shape, or form, but that timeless message from Ecclesiastes 3rd chapter, verses 1 through 8. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to uproot. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to tear down, and a time to build. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones, and a time to gather them. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain. A time to search, and a time to give up. A time to keep, and a time to throw away. A time to tear, and a time to mend. A time to be silent, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time for war, and a time for peace. And I don't know about you all, but it feels like we're going through all of these times simultaneously. Since 2020, when for the first time in a generation since 1918, when my grandparents were born, and the influenza pandemic, we have been immersed in the twin pandemics of COVID-19 and anti-Blackness. And so I think about an example of some of these times, a time to uproot that John Irving already referred to, with the explosion of what we know, what our ancestors know, and what we will always continue to unapologetically proclaim, that Black lives do matter, regardless of whether they do or not in practice or in anyone's viewpoint. So you all are part of this movement to uproot. You're the current generation, right, standing on the shoulders of our ancestors. A time to weep. There's been a lot of weeping during this global pandemic. I remember when I first started hearing the reports that somehow, as Black people, we were immune, that we could not get the virus. But then we really started to see we've lost a lot of people. We've lost a lot of loved ones. And there's a time to mourn that President Whitney Berg reminded us of not only the babies in that elementary school. I started out teaching in 7th grade in 1993. And my purpose is other people's children. My purpose is educating and shaping the minds and the hearts and the souls and the spirits of other people's children. And it's heartbreaking, as well as that killing of all of those Black people on a Saturday afternoon minding their business in a supermarket in Buffalo, New York. But right now, we're here to celebrate and to recognize a time to dance, a time to build, a time to heal. There will be dancing later on with DJ Chip, just as a reminder. And so I'm going to do a roll call. I don't know how many of you are used to roll calls. And to honor all of the graduates here with us tonight, as well as throughout Modesto and Stanislaus County. So just calling out some of the junior high schools: Prescott, Roosevelt, Lebanon Junior High Schools, Grace Davis, Modesto, Valley College, Thomas Downey, James Enox, Fred C. Byer, Joseph A. Gregory, Peter Johansson, and Peter Anderson Alternative High Schools, Modesto Junior College, and Stan State. All right, represent your school, okay. And right now, I invite the graduates, when I count to 3, to give your school a shout out. So you can just call out the name of your school, blah, blah, junior high, blah, blah, high school, blank, blank, Modesto Junior College, Stan State. So on the count of 3, please feel free to give your school a shout out. 1, 2, 3. So this is what I want you to know. And this is why I feel such tremendous honor and privilege to be here before you. You shine like no other generation before you. I started teaching 7th grade in 1993, and up until 2 years ago, I never thought that the tools of my craft would be a laptop and a hotspot and a phone. I never thought that I would be on Zombie Land, otherwise known as those Hollywood squares, and then that what became too commonplace: you're on mute. Unmute yourself. And I'm old school. I was born in 1968. And so my students, I always learn from my students, but they really have helped me out these last 2 years with all of this technology. So the reason why you all shine like no other generation before you is that you are the first generation of students in a pandemic since 1918. That wasn't my parents' generation. That was my grandparents' generation when they were born. So you're talking about a global pandemic that is only once every 2 to 4 generations. You have made the most out of times that are unprecedented, that we have never seen before, that we could not anticipate, that we could not prepare for. You are finding and have found new sources of motivation, strength, and faith. You are shining in the face of the anti-Black pandemic, which has always been here. And your generation is currently leading the way by calling out, challenging, and healing the centuries of racism by previous and current generations. And you are thriving while feeling all of the feelings, all of the struggles, all of the vulnerabilities. This has been really challenging. I think about those 2 shooters. I'm not going to say their names. They were 18, so when this thing started, they were 16 years old. So I really want you all to look in the mirror and acknowledge yourselves for staying connected, for staying grounded, for staying blessed, because that is a choice every single moment of every day. We are learning to reconnect as we come back together, and it's a process. I don't know what your experiences have been like at school, but I do talk to my students and it's an adjustment. And then you were thriving because of the love and the support of your families, your friends, and your community. Because at this time, more than any other, we understand that it takes a village and it's always taken a village. So I want to close with the words of Nina Simone. This is actually what we called our yearbook in undergrad. We were completely whitewashed out of the other regular yearbook, so we created a yearbook called Young, Gifted, and Black. And you all are the living, breathing spirit, in essence, and power of being young, gifted, and Black. You are young, gifted, and Black. We must begin to tell our young, there's a world waiting for you. Yours is the quest that's just begun. When you're feeling really low, yet there's a great truth that you should know. When you're young, gifted, and Black, your soul is intact. And above all else, I want to finish with that last, most critical line from Ecclesiastes, a time for peace. I'm not going to sugarcoat the state of the world as we stay at home. All of this and everything that's happening and what you have already achieved is much more than a notion. So for me, when I read this time for peace, I think about the peace that passes all understanding. I think about the peace in the eye of the storm. I think about the peace from our ancestors all the way to our communities, our family, our loved ones. And so tonight, I want to congratulate you again. I'm so excited for you, and I thank you. Because I cannot imagine what it must be like to be a student and a child and a teenager and a young person and a student of any age going through this. And I want you to always keep in mind that peace is not about the absence of feelings. It's not about not struggling. It's not about being afraid, not being afraid, right? It's not about having doubts. It's about always coming back to that place and remembering that you were young, gifted, and Black. Your soul is intact. We have your back. God has your back. And all of the ancestors have your backs. And you cannot be stopped.
Thank you, Dr. Rolfe, for your inspirational words to our students. Again, one more time for our esteemed professor. Make sure you take a class if you want to stay and stay. Yes, and again, remember your power. Remember your power. Don't let anybody take your power. That is the essence, that is you. Power you have in you. Whether it's graduating from 8th grade, 12th grade, or college. Whether it's seeking a career that you desperately spend your time, your affection, and your love to pursue. Keep that power. Don't let anybody take your power. They try to take your power and you just ask them, did you see the Oscars? You tried to take my power. Did you see the Oscars? Did you see what happened when Chris Rock took Will Smith's power? Just ask him. Just ask him that. Jokes aside, we're going to continue with our program. Next, this person that we're about to bring up, oh my goodness. You talk about poetry, you talk about power. There's power in words. You know, there's power in poetic words, spoken words, and how you deliver it. We have a young lady in our community that has been one of the firecrackers and dynamite of artists in our community and has gone beyond our community as well, is very recognized for her work and the power, her power in spoken word. So I want you to bring up with a warm welcome and loud applause for Miss Angela Drew.
Thank you, John, for that warm welcome. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening, my lovely brothers and sisters. You all are beautiful, beautiful graduates. I'm going to go ahead and kick this thing off with a poem that was written especially for you. My gift to you, class of 22. You are your ancestors' wildest dreams. Yes, you. And you. And you. You are miracles dipped in melanin, the highest of highs to the highest extent, gilded and built with the best intentions, lifted and gifted. Did I forget to mention that you are your ancestors' wildest dreams? Regal, esteemed, hashtag everything, ready to live a life full of meaning, chin to the sky, always kinging and queening. Yes, you are your ancestors' wildest dreams. You are change makers, risk takers, generational curse breakers, writing new histories, unlocking the mysteries. Eyes on the prize, celebrate every victory. Do you know where you're going? You gotta know where you've been. Take time to learn where you come from, for you are kings and queens among men. Veins filled with blood dripped from pyramids. Sacred geometry in your genesis. You are the original people, so walk this land like it's your premises. You are inventors, creators, innovators, and activists. Your generation is Z, so you'll start a new alphabet. Understand the assignment, make a difference that matters. Understand the assignment, make a difference that matters. Be your bold, beautiful self, onward, upward, life's ladder. Forward movement is difficult, but being average is easy. Make your reputation precede you. Give yourself what you need to be whole, to be happy, be inspired, be kind. Mental health is still health, so feed your heart and your mind. It is okay to fail, but don't you dare try and stay there. Fall 7 times, get up 8. There is nothing to fear here. Breathe your dreams in like air. Enjoy the ride as you elevate. The small wins are still wins, so take time out to celebrate you. Beautiful you, just be you. That's your superpower. Go through what you grow through. Up through mud blooms the lotus flower. Black boy joy, black girl magic, black excellence. That's the fabric you are. Weave from, believe in your dreams, but take action. And remember that beauty is more than just physical attraction. You will get in this life when you have the courage to work for. So be more, strive for more. You are more. I implore you to move like you know that you are your ancestors' wildest dreams. Yes, you, beautiful you, all of you, class of 2022, be true, true to you, for no one is coming to save you. You are it, and you are enough. Congratulations, my young brothers and sisters. I salute you. Your future awaits.
One more time for Miss Drew, y'all. We talk about breaking generational curses. Man, that's deep. That's deep. You gotta let that one Let that one marinate. So now it's that time. Again, for me, being on the school board, Modesto City Schools is actually really, I'm really enjoying this, to being able to be here to help send you on the next journey. You know, I was at 3 graduations this week. You know, Davis, Elliott, and Roosevelt graduations this week, handing out diplomas. So it was really a good sight to really see our young people, you know, making that transition. They earned it. Also, one of our esteemed staff members is here. I see Fallon Ferris, who's been helping out here, Fallon. So Fallon is the district's equity and intervention coordinator for our district. She's a graduate of Downey High School. We Fallon back when she was in middle school. It was the first time I met her. So it's good to see one of ours come back and work for our district. You know, hopefully we get many of you all to come back and take jobs in our community to elevate our community to the next level. With that being said, it's that time of the program where we are presenting our certificates. If I could have the folks involved with that come to the stage.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Beverly Austin, and I have the pleasure of reading the names of the 8th graders tonight. The first 8th grader we have is Shiree Healy. Aaliyah Smith Johnson, senior child, junior high school. No Aaliyah? Okay. Drew Walker, Evelyn Henshaw, middle school. Genesis Collins, Great Valley Academy. Sabrina Dyson, Great Valley Academy. Kamani Dyson. Terry M. Grant. Antoine Harper. Enrique Thompson, Loma Junior High School. Levine Lee, Lenore Junior High School. Corday Bates. Andre Scott Jr. Junior High School. Amani Lane Grant, Lane, Roosevelt Junior High School. Bridge Benjamin Anderson, Roosevelt Junior High School. Jonathan Williams, Roosevelt Junior High School. Anari Herrera, Turlock Junior High School. Eighth graders here that we don't have names for. Soraya Emmons. Gloria Stevenson. Justin Parks.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and announce our 12th grade graduates, and we're all excited for, I am going to excited we have our name cards. Can I have you all stand and we come in a line formally this way, and we will announce as such. Thank you all. Okay. Okay, so up first I have Kamaya Scott. Kamaya, thank you. We have Jakai Nichols going to San Joaquin Delta College. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Up next, we have Anise Jones going to Xavier University and we have Aaliyah Johnson going to CSU Long Beach. We have Samara Garman going to Xavier University. We have Ashley Faison going to MJC. Up next, we have Tanea Dickerson going to University of Santa Cruz. Up next, we have Deshia LaBelle Akins going to Paul Mitchell School of Beauty. All right, and last we have Savion Morley going to MJC.
That's my baby.
All right, join me in a round of applause for our 12th grade graduates.
All right, and I have the honor of recognizing the university and MJC graduates. Would all of you please stand and make a line at the podium and hand me your cards. Moshe from MJC representing tonight. Amen. First, I have Patricia Howard, graduate from MJC, Social Services and Sociology. The next person I have is Tanya King from Modesto Junior College. She has her degree in Human Services, Behavioral Social Science, Counseling, Chemical Dependency, and Sociology. She was transferred to
Freeda Webb, graduating from Modesto Junior College with Human Services degree, with Chemical Dependency Counselor, and 3 certificates, who also graduated with honors. Apia, graduated with an AA degree in natural science. And I have Corrine Stevenson Mushab, and she graduated from California State University, Stanislaus, with a BA in psychology with honors. She said she forgot. Ashanti Thurston, graduated from Modesto Junior College with an AA in psychology and associate teaching certificate. Congratulations.
Ashanti just wanted the spotlight. That's what she didn't forget. She didn't forget. Yes. This time, everybody stand up for our graduates and clap for them. This is really nice. Like I said, we are defying those generational curses. We're defying those generational curses. We still got work to do, but we are making progress. Actually, before we continue to head on to the rest of our program, I'd just like to recognize the folks who really put this show on together here. The event commitment team, Rose Mitchell, right there, chair. Lady Herrera, yes. Maria Bravo, Kathy Duenas. Kathy Duenas here. Ashanti Thurston, see you again, the spotlight again. Ashanti. Beverly Austin, Alexandra Castro. Also, our DJ Chip. Now, I see 2 of you, so we should have asked DJ Chips. And our main man on the camera back there, extraordinaire, Mr. MTV. I'm gonna say my TV. 26, Mr. Jay Freeda back there. Yeah, man, black owned TV station in Modesto. Another one of them 150-year things, you know. Also, our culinary team prepared a wonderful meal you all partake in. Mark Colors, Sterling Fountain, Sarah Johnson, and Pam Brazil. And also, I'd like to recognize in the back there is Miss Carol Collins, West Modesto, King, Kennedy, Collaborative. That's how we do. Claudia Everson, talking about changing the They did that for 20 years plus on the west side. So, you know, we owe them a great deal for where we are today as far as those health disparities. They closed that gap. So again, thank you all. And we're headed to the next portion of our program. Before we do that, one little thing about the young people. What's all of this about the rappers? All them naming themselves little. Little this, little baby, little that, little... What is up with that? As a man, I don't want no nothing to call me little nothing. You know, at least nobody's come up with like, oh man, they call me little brain, you know. I just don't get it. They can't be more creative. I think Lil Wayne started that, but they can't get more creative than that. Yeah, I tell you, you young people, you cease to amaze me on so many different levels. That brings me to our program with young people. When we conclude here, you can take pictures out front with our esteemed photographer, Mr. Jerry Cooper, out front. He was taking the pictures while you were here on stage. And that's another thing. We need to give homage. Jerry Cooper's been at this thing since I can remember, back when I was coordinating the graduation. That's been a long time. I did it for 16 years. So again, Mr. Jerry Cooper. And back in the day, Mr. Cooper used to take the pictures, then he would run to Walgreens and get them developed, and then he'd come back to the King Kennedy Center and have everybody's picture laid out. Used to crack me up. But that's how you did it back then. That's how you did it. We're at that point where we're going to bring up for the awarding of the scholarships. And so first I'd like to bring up Beverly Austin of the Women's Auxiliary, another long-standing organization in our community since what, 1986? 1986, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Hey, make sure you remember that.
Hello again. Students, congratulations on being selected as the recipient of the Women's Auxiliary and the NAACP Scholarship Award. For those of you who haven't heard of the Women's Auxiliary of Modesto, you have probably heard of our Red, Black, and Green Ball. This is the event where we raise funds for the scholarship program. Without further ado, the first recipient is Ashley Faishon. On behalf of the Women's Auxiliary and the NAACP, we wish you continued success in your educational endeavor. God bless you.
All right, our next presenter for our scholarships will be presenting on behalf of the Project Uplift Mentoring Program and also on behalf of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated since 1911. And so coming to the stage, I have my fraternity brother and Project Uplift mentor, Mr. Chad Spencer. Only one of our recipients is here, and one is graduating, and the other two are out of town, but we want to recognize their name.
Good evening. So first and foremost, I want to give a quick plug to Project Uplift. Project Uplift is a mentorship program started in 1999 for young men in Stanislaus and San Joaquin counties that are in elementary, middle, and high school. The purpose of the program is to provide a vehicle for these young men to pursue and achieve their educational and personal goals, along with laying a foundation for that transition into manhood. If any of you have young men that fall into this category, I'd encourage you to look at our website online, and please reach out and contact us if you have young men that you think may benefit from the program. That being said, I'll go ahead and read off the names. And again, as John mentioned, two of these individuals I know are not with us physically, but are with us in spirit. So the first is Daryl Cheatham II. And next we have Christian Jackson. Christian, are you here? And now the scholarships on behalf of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. We have Malika Irvin. Samara Garman.
She's special, so I never love people as you can.
And last but not least, we have Destiny Williams.
Yes, and we're moving right along here on this program. That brings us, did y'all know there's gonna be a dance afterwards? Yeah, okay. You know, I'm just gonna say, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, it used to be back in the day where when the Women's Auxiliary used to do their annual, back then with the red, black, and green ball, and the Omegas used to do the chain like myself, and we used to step. The knees, the ankles, and the back don't recover like they used to. But nonetheless, I can still do a little bit of something. So, with that being said, that's going to conclude with a few words. Closing remarks. Again, thanking everybody for coming out. I mean, this is Memorial Weekend. A lot of people who put on this event Could be anywhere with their families, going to visit, getting ready for that barbecue, marinating that meat, you know, whatever they do for Memorial Weekend. But they're here. They're here because the power is within you. That's why they're here. So recognize that. There's people that could be anywhere right now, but they chose to be here with you. They don't want to see this day go without seeing you make that transition. And with that, earlier I gave some statistics, educational statistics there, but I just want to leave you with this. At the end of the Civil War, only 1% of us, blacks, African Americans, however you identify, could read. Could read. 1%. 1%. And then in Tennessee, the Freedmen's Bureau back then used to, they're the one who was setting up the education for blacks after slavery. And so they was at the school in Tennessee. Back then, our school was the church. That's what they set up. It was a house of worship, church. And in this church, there's one wrong church. Because you got to understand, this is after slavery. In that school, the mother, the daughter, the grandmother, and the great-grandfather, all on the educational same level, in the same classroom, learning the same thing. That's how important it was. They wrote in their brief, it was like, the blacks have this burning desire to learn to read, to be educated, that they got 4 generations in one classroom learning the same lesson. That's deep. That is deep. That is deep. To be in that classroom with 4 generations, because the thirst for learning was so burning in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls, to want to be educated. So that's my party. You know, my parting words is to value not only your power, but the education that you have, that you're taking with you. And with that being said, Madam President, anything else that we need to convey? Yes. So it's time to get our party on, our boogie on, and again, thank you graduates, thank you family, friends,